Well, Kevin, you're the only one in here. And I'm going to go over radar. And if you end up being the only one, I'm going to close down the live. Uh, how are you? It is one giant cesspool of lies, 24/7. I can't stand it. I flippin' hate it. It does not make life pleasurable, to say the least. Hi, Miss Blanche. Hi. Yeah, it's very hard. For people who really kind of, have the sense that truth is sacrosanct, that lying, well, in the Bible it says it's an abomination, and lies surround us every day. And hardly, you know, well, in my life, I haven't met anyone who really cared. Isn't that sad? Well, two people in, so this is also sad. Radar. The same pattern. They've created another very long weather front, the same pattern as it was yesterday, with some of the same frequencies in the same area. Isn't that interesting? Michigan, you've got quite a lot of supercells going on. Supercell, the manifestation of supercells in Texas, right on the coast, and flying up northwest. Uh, that's not what Mother Nature used to do. The jet stream used to come across the country west to east, and now goes wherever it wants to go. Colorado. Now look at that straight line of supercells right here. Wow. So, let me just make sure everything is copacetic. Kathleen O'Brien, hello. Denise Martinez and T. Lamb, hi. So, hey, Gavin. No, if I'm feeling decently, that's the best I can do now. But nice to see you. Third eye sore. You're drained today. I don't know what the hell is going on, but yeah, drained. Wow. An exhaustion that I can feel throughout my body. I don't like it at all. Be more, hello. And we've got, 10 active severe weather warnings for Colorado, Michigan, and New York. New York. Oh, northern New York. You've got your supercell activation going on. So do you in Vermont. So why don't you have any severe weather warnings? Michigan, I understand for sure. But what's going on down here? The supercells can go wherever they want to. They have their own GPS. They have their own actuators where, they can actually increase speed. They can send and receive data. So that's why we're seeing supercells going in all different directions. Here, northeast. Here, well, kind of southwest, but not really because they're being shut off. Yes, weather modification playlist on this channel, several videos devoted to nanotechnology being used in our weather. So, Colorado, Michigan, New York. We have El Paso County in Colorado, Arapahoe, Elbert in Colorado. Tornado warning. A tornado warning. That just showed up. Yeah, southeast of Denver, moving northeast. You're a tornado. Right here. They got it going for you. Be very careful. Branch and Hillsdale in Michigan, St. Lawrence in New York, Genesee, Lapeer, Oakland counties in Michigan, Macomb and Wayne County in Michigan, and you have a number of special marine warnings. Port St. Joe, Apalachicola in Florida. You have Lake Erie, Metro Park Harbor, and Machias, I don't know, Tucker Terrace, Chokoloskee. So a whole lot up here, Michigan, also way up in New York, and off the coast of Maine. Link to radar is in the chat. There you go. And the alert site is in the chat. Yes, we had quite a lot of damage, which I'll go over at 5:30, from yesterday's storms. And here we are again. This is very kind of cruel. What is taking place? Hi, Tony, Jeff Hinckley, Neolia. Hi. Talking of being exhausted, tired, basically stripped of all energy. Yeah. Little Rock, Arkansas, 94 feels like 103. It feels hotter than what the temperature says. So that's for Arkansas, and in Dallas, Texas. Gary Maserati, hello. Wow. It's 100 degrees in western New York. Okay. Let me just do this. I don't know why, because I know that you guys know, but I hope you're circulating information. It's let me see. Where's weather modification? 5G microwave frequencies, Wi-Fi, health effects, also for extremely low frequencies. Weather modification, and they have many ways in which they can create heat waves. Many, many different ways. So let me see if I can at least get to one video, but I have several videos. We are being sprayed with lithium. Do you have lithium symptoms? Lithium in tap water, lithium chemtrail spraying, It's highly flammable, causes many symptoms. Oh my God. Owning the weather by 2025. Earthquakes and heat waves. Wow. Artificial cloud proof. Well, heat waves already, and all you need to know that it's temperature modification induced by man. I'll throw the link in. There's only 317 videos on weather modification on that playlist. And actually, if any of you have difficulty, if you click on the link and you can't get to the video, you might not be able to get it off my playlist. So I'll have to get the video differently. Stephanie Martin, hi. You haven't watched the weather forecast for the week, but lots of spraying on Tuesday. Well, I don't even bother with 5-day forecasts, even 3 days, because it changes so often that I don't even bother. So, Tony, that is really for June, even at the end of June, that's very high temperatures. You opted out of the smart meter. Now you have to pay extra. No. Third eye sore. Paul Fisher, hi. An estimate for new air conditioning and heating, an HVAC unit, $12,000? You're kidding me. $12,000. Oh, I don't know what to say. That's pretty high. Do you think maybe? Yes. Let me just go over a couple of comments. Oh God, I've got to delete this page here. So all right. Oh. Wrong one. All right. So on this issue of whether Trump converted, I don't care. I do not care if he converted or not. So a lot of people were, telling me that the article that Kelly was referring to, I hadn't brought up. The rabbis confirmed that Trump converted to Judaism in that article. I don't care that other people confirm something. I want the evidence. You have to understand what the evidence is, okay? The evidence would be Trump himself saying that he converted to Judaism. A document, the conversion certificate, that's evidence. What everybody else is saying I don't give a shit. So what? That's not evidence. So I also saw, And and I'm going to have to find it because there were, it was a 2025 article, and I think there were rabbis who were saying that Trump was in the process of converting. How do you believe anything, right? So there were people who were saying that I was triggered by uh, what people think, whatever. And I've gotten this for 15 years because people have this idea that if you're not sounding like NPR, you're angry. No, there's a lot of tones that people have. Do people not understand what frustration is? It is a frustration of mine. I have for 15 years said, if you post something about people, if it's disparaging, if it's, oh, this person converted to Judaism, you leave evidence. You leave evidence, which is very important. Now, I don't think a lot of people know what evidence is, okay? So when I've asked for evidence, they send me what they think is evidence, and it's not. And I went over that last night. It's just a frustration of mine. That's all. And Trump father was a Jesuit. So either Trump is a Jesuit or he's a Jew. What? How about he's a lying, skanky piece of shit who will play to his audience always for the bucks. A whole lot believe that it's all the Jews. A whole lot believe it's the Jesuits. Okay, I believe, based on my research, that it is the Jesuits. They're at the top, and they pull a lot of strings, and they put out front groups that will take the heat. The Jesuits, of all the groups, are probably the most deceptive. And actually, I saw a comment in the chat last night. Somebody said, you know, the Jesuits will always claim to be either a Christian or a Jew, or they've converted, yada, yada, yada. It's all, unfortunately, the staged play that we're watching. Well, a whole lot of these people are Satanists, you know, but whether or not they're officially Satanists, I don't know. There's evidence with Trump. MAGA is like the highest order in the satanic religion, or a group of Satanists or whatever. But MAGA, really? And the MAGA people don't even question that. Oh, everything is breaking down. Roy, hi Roy, James and Lori Smith. 100 here, and it feels like 115. You know, even though it's very uncomfortable, certainly for me here in Arizona, it's not as hot as it is where you have this fabulous heat wave going on. So, Lori, where are you? And everything is breaking down. Yeah. You can really see it, you know, with this ceasefire that Trump declared right after the live. And I've shown Tehran Times saying that they never agreed Trump was lying. I got on Twitter and I saw the amount of missiles being shot over from Iran into Israel. In fact, my Israeli subscriber said 3 times she had to go to the bomb shelter yesterday. Heat advisory here in North Carolina until 8 p.m. tomorrow. Hot and humid today, now a thunderstorm. Needles, California. Desert. Okay. Now there are people, and apparently a family member, a Trump family member, claiming that he's showing signs of dementia. So now we have another president where people are going to claim that at least he can pronounce words, but his vocabulary is limited. Wow, very limited. Let me just see. So Trump's father was a Jesuit. Trump is a Jesuit. Trump card, Walter Veith. Yeah. A whole lot were posting Walter's research on the Trump card. And this is underneath my video, the live that posted last night. Committee of 300 on top of the pyramid? No, I don't think so. I really think it's the Jesuits. Second tier is Vatican. I think the Jesuits and maybe the Committee of 300. The Committee of 300, I'm going to have to, I can't remember. I'm going to have to do some looking at that again. But what does it matter? We've got evil going. What does it matter? No one's going to do anything with the knowledge that they have. So, how I heard someone describe the MAGA crowd with all of this ceasefire, etc., was the Wizard of Oz and the scene with the poppies. That was a perfect analogy of this crowd. It is sad. I really thought that the red team had more critical thinking skills, but apparently not a lot do. So, Tony, my comments have been removed. There is evidence that Trump converted to Judaism. The Noahide laws are real. Well, they are real, but we will see them implemented very soon. I don't know why Carol gets so triggered over him converting. I don't get triggered. I get triggered with the lack of evidence. And then when I look at their evidence and I present to them, it's not evidence. Well, people will say, well, it works for me. Oh, so you're just going to continue with this whole rumor, which that's what it stands to be right now, passing it along. That's not truth at all, and if there is evidence and somebody shows me the evidence, I will come on here and say, okay, here it is. He did convert. But as it stands, it does not look like he converted, especially when rabbis, it was a 2025 article who were saying that he's in the process now. He's converting to Judaism. Doesn't he have a lot on his plate? It's getting crazy, so those who don't go with facts and evidence, you've got to think about what you're doing. Are you any different than the mainstream media reporters putting out all of the crap? No. Yeah, so because I have not received that evidence yet, I thought she wanted truth. I wish she would do the research like we have. The Noahide laws, show me the evidence that they're going to be implemented. Show me the evidence that they're law, as opposed to the proclamation for Education Day or whatever. Um, and Carol, God bless you and protect you. John 14:15, Jesus says, if you love me, keep my commandments. Honor thy father and thy mother. No, sorry, I'm not going to keep that. There's a whole lot of very evil fathers and mothers out there, and they should not be honored at all. Thou shalt not murder. Well, that I've kept. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Carol, do you agree? Well, I don't agree. I don't agree with honor thy father and thy mother. You know, you honor people who are moral and who are actually, they have a spiritual practice, and they actually adhere to it in their daily life. Uh, and it's on the moral side, the good side, not those that adhere to their crazy, uh, evil practice. So I criticize Israel all the time, Will, all the time. So what? I was raised in a Christian nationalist family. I was able to crawl out of both. I understand their minds, very scary mindset. Well, again, you know, I'm not saying, nor do I absolutely believe that they're going to be able to, you know, the agenda of the Christians, of the Catholic, of the evangelicals, but they're moving in that direction to make this country a Christian nationalist, fundamentalist country. Well, that is chucking away the Constitution, okay? The minorities, you know, that are not within that group, what happens to them? Um, so, you know, a whole lot, oh my God, the Noah laws, and they're going to implement it. That's from an awful lot of Christians. Okay, Christian nationalist, fundamentalist country, they're going to implement it, and I don't care, it works for me. Not cool. It is so ironic to watch people do as they should, i.e., blaming Trump when he is being told what to do. Like I said, he just takes the heat for what others want. Who are the others? Who? There are a lot of people who I don't get it, but they seem to take off the responsibility of the puppets. Why? Why? And why shouldn't we be blaming Trump for these great betrayals that he has shown, certainly his red team, but the American people? He did it in his first term, and now he smashes us in the face every single day. So why shouldn't we blame Trump? You blame everybody who is lying, who is implementing or behaving in a way that's hurting other people. When you see somebody like Trump who's actually doing things that are destroying Americans, you get angry. You blame them. But we in America, it's like, are people afraid to hold people accountable? That's, to me, bizarre. But they are. And I've seen it. I'm very, very afraid. Well, people will think I'm confrontive. I'm confronting someone. Oh, okay. Remain silent. it puts you on the evil side. Jesuits will convert to anything. Oh, I did capture this. Jesuits will convert to anything in order to further their agenda. Their God is Satan. Not sure who, after I captured this, I thought, oh, I don't know who they're referring to. Yeah, I see people leaving comments that all Jews are Satanists. Well, I don't want you in the chat. Trump loves Israel over states. Does it really matter, Carol? When I was going through the articles and a whole lot that had been sent to me over the years as evidence and saying this is not evidence. Yes, it matters. It matters. So I don't care, that Trump loves Israel over America. That wasn't the point. The point was you're presenting something as evidence and it's not. A whole lot of people do that with a whole lot, not just Trump converted to Judaism, but a whole lot. And they just, it's their opinion. They've thrown out facts and evidence and they don't care. I can't find it, I will, but sorry, Carol. He had the time and it was back in 2017. So why do we see 2025 articles on Jewish websites or a rabbi saying he's in the process of it in 2025? Don't you think they would know? Maybe. It's coming with Sunday law. Do you think this is going to be forced? Wait till Sunday law. So I know that I have had conversations with Christians who it's Saturday for them. So I guess the Protestants, their Sabbath day is Saturday, but they're afraid that they're going to move everything to Sunday. That to me reeks of Jesuits. That to me reeks of the Catholic Church. Well, I also agree with you, Marcia. I think that the Jews have literally been set up to take an awful lot of heat, and their own Zionist government contributed to it. Yeah. So I don't know what to say about the Sunday law, but doesn't it kind of reek of the Catholic Church having the power of switching everything over to Sunday? The Sunday law, that's when that will be the day, knocking out Saturday for the Protestants. No. Someone in the chat thought that I was erasing messages on that SpaceX video. No. Unfortunately, when I'm covering a lot of information, I can't really pay attention to the chat. They're not directly against the Holy Bible, Parsifal, Wagner, and I guess I'm going to have to go over the Noahide legislation. She can't talk about that stuff on YouTube, guys. She doesn't want to get banned again. No, I can talk. I was talking about Trump being converting to Judaism, and I think this comment was referring to maybe the Noahide laws, I can talk about it. Um, she can only go so far. Now, what I have to stay away from is that, the new product in 2020. Oh, okay. This is from a subscriber. Hope you're hanging in there. Things are so bad for me. If it wasn't for my daughter, it's so fucked up. These people use my daughter in the most disgusting ways, and the help we're receiving is pathetic. Then, over 3 weeks ago, my abusive half brother yanked a hot frying pan out of my hand, broke my finger. Now, families, man. Our wonderful medical system had to refer me from one doctor to the next. They take their time returning my calls just to tell me that the hand surgeon has rejected my referral. So I had to figure out what to do next. I finally have another referral, but can't get in until June 30th, and that's just for the consultation. This is not how it used to be. I was told it was because I have limited insurance. I have Medicare and Medicaid. We are so screwed. I almost wish they would just bomb us and put us out of our misery. No, you're not being negative. Okay, so I'd like to get out of that negative positive dichotomy that they stuck an awful lot of us in. This is how you feel. It's how you feel. You're expressing it, and it's not negative. You're expressing something that is a real frustration for you, makes you angry. Things have changed greatly, and we're all being screwed, and people should be angry. That's the appropriate response. Even just a few months ago, it was different. So, there are so many things that are happening in life now where so many people are recognizing that things have greatly changed. And I'm here to say it is 100%. It is not going back. It's going to get far, far worse. For those who are already experiencing an awful lot, how much can we take? How much? People, oh, that was another beauty. God doesn't give you any more than you can handle. Oh, really? Really? Is that true? No, it's not true. All right. Yeah, he turned Jewish in 2017. Israel Times published it in 2019. No, he didn't. Israel Times, Times of Israel. The 2019 article is what I showed you last night. Nowhere does it say he converted to Judaism. Just like Clinton was our first black president, Trump is our first Jewish president. Sorry, Carol, I have the proof. Okay, show it. Show it, please. And if you have the proof and it's actual evidence, I will gladly include it in a live stream. So, how is everybody feeling? I'm not okay. I had several conversations with a subscriber in Alabama. The conversations were great. Really like him. And it's about moving to Alabama. And I'm scared. I'm so tired also. But I'm also scared. Oh, he's definitely a Zionist shill, for sure. But he's also a Jesuit shill, for sure. I mean, a lot of what we see coming out of these people is all deception. You know, what they're actually doing behind the closed doors is a whole other world. It's a whole other thing that we don't know, and we can only speculate. But Alabama, right on the coast, kind of on the coast, not right on, and it worries me. Hurricanes worries me a great deal, but I'm feeling desperate, and I don't know what to do. You convert to Judaism, you don't turn Jewish. Yes, right. You're born Jewish. Um, that's like saying a Baptist turned Blackish. I don't fully understand that, but and absolutely Neolia. Basically, we have no proof whatsoever. That's part of the narrative. Anything can be faked. And yeah, it keeps us arguing. I don't want to do that, you know? And so I'm just so, people think I'm triggered. I'm tired. I'm tired. You know, this is insane. Um, so I'm really struggling, not knowing what to do. And, but it's interesting, you know, how is it that I have, and they're Christian, okay, and it was like in Montana, and I've said this in videos, there was one of the twin sisters who for 8 months was working me to get to move to Montana. And I kept saying, no, I cannot. Any move will, because I had moved so many times and I was finally my life was becoming stable again. I said, any move is going to really, it's going to be very hard for me to adjust to another place. And I kept saying, no, no, no. Well, I ended up in Montana because of everything that happened in South Carolina, which I don't want to go into. But it was like people have agendas. You know, they wanted me up there for their own reasons, not because they loved me and they wanted to make sure that I was going to survive and all the stuff that they were saying. No, they had their own agenda. And when their agenda wasn't kind of met to a T, boom, out. So another one in Oregon, you know, was very trying to get me to move to, I guess she has, it's one building, but 2 apartments. She lives in one, and the other apartment. It's too expensive, and but she was going to send me pictures and a video of the apartment. So she's trying to convince me to move, and I said, just if you could send me, some pictures and a video. I never heard from her again. It's weird. It's very weird. So I don't, with all of the experiences that I've had with subscribers, it's very hard, very hard. And I certainly don't want to say anything that someone's going to take personally or whatever. No. In order for me to actually heal, I really need my own place. I need my own place. And it doesn't look Likely. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a happening thing at this point. But I can't imagine my life. There's no future. That sucks. Um, I wish you were too, Tony. I was thinking, I was thinking, well, if I had money, maybe I could charter a jet. Yeah, the idea of packing again, the idea of driving again, the idea of adjusting, and actually the town where he is, it looks lovely. It looks wonderful. Um, and I would probably be better off there for sure. But I'm scared. I can't stand this. Um, and having nothing to do with him, but the idea of driving through Texas, that one hurt the first time. Oh my God. Just that makes me a little like, okay. uh, it's very difficult. Very, very difficult. Um, what does that mean, Gavin? Capricorn is behind my anus? I don't know what that means. Everything's expensive now. And that's why when I'm playing these videos of the elderly going homeless, the young not being able to find, a reasonably priced apartment, you better believe my heart goes out to them because this is hell. Living like this is just hell. There's nothing fun about it. When you can't live, how you want to live. So you can't afford an apartment. Private room, private bath, private entrance. Okay. Um, Roy, that's what a lot of people are saying. Very different from when I was, younger. You were able to save, you were able to go out and do things, you were able to go out to dinner, you work, you pay bills, and Roy is saying, all I do is work, work, work. Don't even get to enjoy the place. I pay all my earned money toward that. It's this is not good. So and yeah, then you come to this like it's crazy town all over the place, but breaking. I couldn't believe it. So the ceasefire is announced. Oh, fabulous! No, yeah, in the live. I was looking at Tehran news sites, and they said, no, we didn't agree to any ceasefire, and Trump is lying again. Okay. Um, and then I'm just seeing these videos of all of these missiles that are striking Israel. Then Israel is also striking Iran. I think Iran struck a U.S. military base in Iraq again last night. Breaking Israel violates ceasefire with Iran. No, I don't even think there was. I think Trump manufactured all of that came out, spewed it out publicly, and I don't even think that there was a ceasefire. You know, uh, he may have just conjured that up in his mind, spoke it, and then Israel and Iran break the ceasefire. We're just a funny flipping people, man, that we have these people still in their positions of power. Still, right? Now Israelis want Washington to be bombed, Trump taken out, uh, all the terrorist cells created in the US will surely soon begin to awaken. These are Israelis who are writing this, translated. One symbolic bomb in Washington will remind Trump that he is not omni, omni, omnipotent, wow, and will restore our national order. Really? We did it on some Tuesday in September, didn't we? That's what they say. Yeah, a whole lot were involved in the doing. It wasn't just the Jews, wasn't just the Israelis. There were an awful lot involved. All the terrorist cells created in the US will surely soon begin to awaken, especially if this whole day isn't one big troll. Who the hell knows what the hell is going on? You know? But the violence, the hatred, that's becoming more and more pronounced on social media. It's really kind of scary. I try very hard to just remain objective and watching it, but it has an effect on you. And this is only going to get worse. There are two types of evil in this world: those that do evil and those that see evil and don't do anything to stop it. Yes, I agree. And not just the leaders, but also, the ordinary people. That's how evil continues to go on. Excuse me one sec. And boy, as the evil begins to show its face and more of the two-leggeds, and who the hell knows, whether they're actually human, they sure do not behave like humans. For the good to sit back and just watch it, you're not good. It takes over. And as it's taking over more and more and more, then you need a bigger army of good to fight that. And if you didn't have the army of good in the first place, well, you're going to get right here. Yeah. The leaders of these Middle Eastern countries, the new Giuliani, he's changed his name, Syria. He got out of his rebel suit, put on a suit, cleaned himself up, and now I'm the leader of Syria. But I work for the United States and Israel, so I ain't going to be doing anything. But I am going to continue murdering Syrian Christians and Alawite Muslims. Don't like them, so I kill them. The rotten American aid sent to us. Yeah, that American humanitarian aid sent to the Palestinians. And as they go for their humanitarian aid, they've got the IDF snipers out there shooting at them. But isn't this looks lovely, doesn't it? Well, Palestinians, you have to understand, we don't have any good food here. We don't. We have no good food here. It's all toxic. And that's what they have provided for us. Toxic food. And I have seen a few of Michaela Rains's videos on Save a Fox. Many of you might know her. She committed suicide. She was a beautiful soul who dedicated her life to rescuing animals. I'm not sure what drove others to be so cruel to her, but please remember to be kinder to animals and your fellow humans. It is very upsetting to see this. She apparently was getting very attacked. So if you want to leave those who do all of their really shitty comments because you can, right? Because you're just, anonymous, really. Just know that you may leave a shitty comment to somebody who really is not okay and push them over the edge. And you know what? A whole lot of people wouldn't even care. Every aspect of life is being destroyed. That's absolutely true. And this woman had, I see so many posting that are very, very upset. So, yeah. Do we need to really pay attention to how we behave ourselves? Absolutely. Moral decay. It's for those who are alone, I know exactly what you're going through. It's very hard to get through the day. If you're still in your stable life and your familiar place and all that, that makes it a little bit easier. But I have to say, for all of my time here, 66 years, it's been one hell of a journey. Very difficult, whole lot of work. Work. Trying to get myself right. You're handed an awful lot of baggage by mommy and daddy, but when you become a young adult, no one is going to fix it except your own self. And boy, did I work. I busted tuchus, and look where I ended up. Okay, there's so many external factors, external forces that operate. And unfortunately, even those who don't even know what the hell they're doing, it seems to be the case that not a lot of people get inspired by people who have, a raised consciousness or who have a conscience, who are living rightly. They don't get inspired. Instead, they try to drag them down. They want to destroy them. They want to make sure that they are dragged down because, God forbid, they should do some work on themselves to raise themselves off the low road. Time and time again, I met people like that. And, I don't I don't understand it. Those who do the gossip, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Destroy, destroy those people so that they feel better about themselves. How can you possibly feel better about yourself? By talking badly about other people, especially lying about other people. How could you feel better about yourself? But a whole lot of people, they will take that to their grave, hurting more and more people. One thing I will say, my life, I never belonged anywhere. I didn't belong to my family. Um, I was the quintessential scapegoat, still am. That's why I'm living what I'm living. So, and the scapegoat, yeah. The family dynamic is they all throw all their shit onto the scapegoat and blame the scapegoat so that they can, go about their business. And that trying to change that family dynamic, it's impossible. It's impossible. Um, and you're told, you hear that your family is claiming that you want to stay in the past, that you can't get over these things. None of it is true. But then when you kind of get outside that dynamic and look in, you go, holy shit, they're still doing exactly what they were doing 4 decades ago. Nothing has changed. And it's like, who is living in the past? You. But they will project everything onto you, and it hurts. So then when you meet up with other people and you see how many Americans operate the same way, it's like, how do you get out? How do you escape from this madness, which is a violent madness? People will trash other people for no reason. That's a violent madness in them. I guess they feel better about themselves or something. I don't know. Is it any different from what we're watching with Trump and Netanyahu and the Ayatollah in Iran? They're all trashing one another. In fact, what does Trump say? Which is, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Wow. All right. This guy is so street. He's so vulgar. He's so vile. But it seems that all of the famous people are engaged in tearing other people down. MAGA now is erupting, into two teams. And it's all like their junior high school. Everybody's cursing. There doesn't seem to be any kind of rational discussion to try to resolve things. We're not going there. If you have an opinion about this war, well, we're going to trash you. As if their opinion, which is different from theirs, is justification to trash people publicly. So, and this guy, wow. So when I was young, I sure as hell did not want to be in my family. And I would look at adults that were not family. And, I always wanted, okay, maybe that could be my father. Maybe that could be my mother. But because there were examples of people living dignified lives, we don't have that anymore. So when you realize the communication breakdown has been so, it literally has blown up, just communication, right? So now everybody's fighting with one another. But when you're young and you're looking at the leaders, and this is how they sound, they don't have any example of actually communicating with the standards that we used to communicate with. They don't have any examples of, oh, this is how you resolve problems. No. We are trash now. Sorry. This country is trash. And it's only going to get trashier.
I don't think so, but I'm not happy that Israel's going out now. There was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit, and it missed its target. And now Israel's going out. These guys got to calm down. Ridiculous. I didn't like plenty of things I saw yesterday. I didn't like the fact that Israel unloaded right after we made the deal. They didn't have to unload. And I didn't like the fact that the retaliation was very strong. But in all fairness, Israel unloaded a lot. And now I hear Israel just went out because they felt it was violated by one rocket that didn't land anywhere. That's not what we want, I'll tell you. And I'm telling you, I'm not happy about that, Israel, either. All I do is play both sides. I'm going now, as you know, to NATO. Some of you are going with me, and I think it's going to be successful. We'll see. I'll let you know.
Are you going to see the agreement with the news on in the Middle East, thanks to the agreement you managed to achieve? What are your future plans for the region, for Saudi Arabia, Israel, Gaza, the hostages?
Look, you're asking me about women in the Middle East. It's getting a lot better. Things are happening at a high level. As you know, Saudi Arabia's done a really good job. It's coming out far.
At one point, he literally says, Israel and Iran don't know what the fuck they're doing. Okay, fabulous, right? The amount of mega fighting all over the place is really, pretty, I want to say shocking, but I'm not shocked because I've seen and I've watched, year after year, this country has gotten worse and worse and worse. People, Americans, got worse and worse and worse. Our leaders got worse and worse and worse. They're all walking the low road. You can't get anywhere with an awful lot of people in power who walk the low road. So, okay. The other thing is, and I don't know which publications my subscriber was referring to, not sure if she knows, but in Israel, and she has a neighbor who are Israeli Christian Arabs. Muslims burned down their home, so they moved into, and they're neighbors now of my subscriber in Israel. And she walked over because the son of this couple had built a beautiful apartment above their house, and she went to see it, and they started talking, and he said to her, apparently he knows several languages, and he said that news publications in different languages, they're all saying different things. So how do you know what the hell is going on? I don't know what publications, because you can translate, Tehran Times, Jerusalem Post, you can translate from languages into English, and you can tell, so I don't know exactly, what he was really referring to, but I will tell you this, Oh, yeah. Well, sharing the screen of just ugly Trump. Sorry. Uh, um, sorry. But all of these people say whatever the hell they want to say. They don't care about the truth. You can't get anywhere good when you have people like him in office, or Netanyahu, or any of these people in government. Governments have destroyed us over and over and over again. And you would hope that the people would begin to understand, okay, this isn't working. This isn't working. And maybe take some power back, get in touch with the power that they actually have inside and do something. But knowing, trying to find the truth about anything, it's going to be a real exhausting endeavor. Now with AI, all of these fake videos, everything like that. Please manifest something different in your communities, with your family. Yeah. But what's not over is how we behave on a daily basis to try to make life a little bit easier for those who are really struggling. That's never going to be over. And as far as I'm concerned, it is absolutely 100% our responsibility being part of the human race. So I'll see you at 5:30. Got more good stuff for you. The nanobots. The nanobot soldiers all activating pretty much at the same time right down here in the south. Heading on up into Illinois. All right. So, yeah, gotta go. And let's think about how we behave. And I'm not talking about perfection, okay? That's another, well, none of us are perfect. No one's talking about perfection. That's not even on the radar. We try our best. We try our best. That's it. So thank all of you who have left supportive comments, nice comments. Thank all of you who are not attacking other people in the chat. Thank all of you, who are mature and not causing drama in people's lives. It's so unnecessary, but it really is, man, junior high school behavior. Live honestly, speak honestly, be trustworthy, keep your word, and be safe. Ciao, guys.